Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're calling in from. We're glad to have you here today for Music Business Common Ground webinar series. My name is Henrik Bick. I'm with the communications team at the Music Business Association. I'm glad to host you today during today's webinar. Before we introduce our host, I just have a couple of quick housekeeping notes about today's session and a couple of things we've got cooking on Music Biz over here. In order to make the most of today's webinar, be sure to check your chat settings on Zoom. If you'll check and make sure that your settings are set to everyone, that'll give you the opportunity to network and chat through today's session, get to know everybody who's here, and chat through everything that we've got going on today. We will be taking questions at the end of today's webinar. Best way to get those questions over to our presenter is by opening the Q&A dashboard on your Zoom window. There's a big Q&A button at the bottom of your screen that'll pull up that dashboard. If you drop in any questions as they come in today, we will answer them at the conclusion of today's webinar. Just a reminder, in case you want to relive the webinar after we have concluded today, or if you want to share it with a colleague of yours who couldn't make it, this webinar will join our recording of past sessions on our website. It'll be posted by end of day today. You can access it through Music Business website. I know we got a couple of links floating in the chat now, but just to tell you, you can always find that by going to musicbiz.org. Under the Educate section, you'll see a Common Ground webinar series, and you'll be able to access our recorded webinars from there. If you're part of a Music Biz member company, those webinars are available to you throughout the tenure of your membership, and that's about 10 years worth of content, all said and done. If you're a non-member, you have access to that for 90 days. So be sure to check it out in case you want to relive something you saw today or share it with one of your colleagues. Outside of that, I pointed out the Music Biz website. That's going to be the best place for you to get information on everything we've got going on at Music Biz, between our virtual event series, both the Common Ground webinars and our Music Biz Passport Global event series. You can find info about that on the homepage right now. We just hosted a passport session on France this past Tuesday, and that recording is live now. For other information on Music Biz, or another way to get that information, I should say, be sure to follow us on socials. We're active on LinkedIn and Instagram at Music Biz Assoc on Instagram and Music Business Association on LinkedIn. While you're at the homepage of the site, you'll see a couple of other timely items. One is our most recent op-ed in our Keeping Tempo series that was brought to us by Ben Porter at Music Biz member Matchtune. Talks about generative AI in music and why AI will never write a new hit in the vein of, let's say, a Bohemian Rhapsody or a Master of Puppets, or if you're a metalhead like me. So check that out. It was really great insights from Ben and Matchtune. Also, you'll find info about our Braylon Campbell Music Business Memorial Scholarship Foundation. We just opened fundraising for the 2026 award class. That is helping future music industry leaders fund their education through our academic partner schools. We're collecting donations now. Donations are open throughout the year, and we'll be announcing the winners of our scholarship at Music Biz 2026. I mentioned Music Biz 2026, so I'll just say stay tuned later this fall for more info on next year's conference. But enough about events for next year. Let's talk about events that are happening today. We're really grateful to kick off our fall 2025 webinar series with our friends at Infinite Catalog. And please welcome Hunter Giles from Infinite Catalog to kick things off. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you, Henrik, for that lovely introduction and for everything that you guys do at Music Biz. And hello, everyone in attendance. My name is Hunter. I'm from Infinite Catalog, where royalties don't have to be hard. That's our motto. And yeah, really excited to show you guys around the platform, give you some of my perspective on why royalties are so important, and more importantly, why transparency is so important, and how our platform helps you simplify royalties, make it better for yourselves, streamline the process, build better relationships with your artists, and grow your catalog all at the same time. So yeah, thanks for everyone in attendance. I did get a list of folks who are at least registered to be here. And there's some serious heavy hitters in here, so welcome everybody. And yeah, I'm gonna give you a tour around the software, and we'd love to get some questions through the Q&A box or whatever it is. And you can always reach me at hunter@infinitecatalog.com. And yeah, it's a whirlwind tour around this software. It's a very deep software for anyone who knows royalties. You know that it can be a complex, challenging process, but obviously an extremely necessary one. And so the software is a deep piece of software, and there's a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. I'm going to try to keep it snappy. I'm going to try to keep it fun, or at least fun for a royalty nerd like me and maybe some of you out there. And yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm actually going to just kick off with a little bit about what this platform is trying to do here. And the main thing that we're trying to fix is that artists often feel like they're they don't really know what's going on with their royalties, with the money, how it's supposed to flow, where it's coming from, who's making what, and very often it ends up that the record label or a publisher or whoever the catalog is, we tend to call everybody just a catalog, because as we'll talk about, our software can uh, it works. It's an all-in-one royalty platform. It can work for master side royalties from a record label. It can work for publishing. It can do both at the same time. It can do merch. It can do books. We have book publishers that use the software. We have people who use it for crazy, like voice audio royalties that I don't even know what exactly they're doing, but they can use the software because it's again built to be an all-in-one flexible platform. It's one of the calling cards of the software. And really, what we're trying to do here is just make it so that you are not the black box anymore. If you're giving your artists a PDF statement, you're kind of a black box because there's no way for them to look at the data, do analytics, understand on any kind of deeper level where it's coming from. And if you're only giving them a siloed view, even of just like the last 6 months or something, that's similarly making it so that people might get the wrong idea about what you're trying to do for them. Because in our experience, record labels, publishers, like uh, people are not trying to screw artists or steal their money or um, anything remotely approaching that. But it can feel that way sometimes. No offense, of course. If you're given your artists, yeah, like a PDF that they have no ability to dig into, or a spreadsheet statement that is, very obviously created by hand. Um, and so we build the platform in an effort to bridge that divide and help artists and catalogs work together instead of apart, and that's what builds better relationships and helps you grow better together, which is our entire goal. And um, so yeah, I'm going to show you around the software, how it works, how we make that possible, and I'm going to start just on this. I'm already starting. Here we are on the dashboard on the main page, which you'll see has some nice charts and graphs, and this is a quick overview of the entire catalog itself. But I'm actually going to jump straight into an artist page, and from there a release page, just to show you that every single artist, every single release, every single track in the software gets a page like this that shows the entire history of that artist or release or track within the catalog itself, within the software, the time that you've been using the software. And it really highlights that the the crossroads between royalties and analytics. And royalties are a necessity. You have to do your royalties. You have to pay your artists. You have to, abide by your contract and make sure that they're getting paid the right amounts. But if you're doing your royalties properly, if you're doing it in a platform like this one, you get a lot of benefits alongside that, which you could sum up as analytics, but also, yeah, that feeling that you're no longer the black box. And it's not just you who gets access to these pages and the ability to very quickly just look at all the transactions from a particular track or release or whatever. and very quickly just say, okay, like what are the retailers that this particular track is earning income from? You can do this, but so can your artists, so can their managers, so can their moms, if or whoever wants to get access to this, needs to get access to this. And again, this is about making it so that you're not the black box anymore, um, because it's our humble opinion that this is their data too. It's not just yours as the catalog. I say that as a record label myself, as a publisher, and as a person who managed artists for a long time. Like this is both parties' data, and we feel like the labels and publishers and managers who are going to thrive in the modern music industry are people who recognize that and are data literate, and able to leverage this to their advantage instead of having it be this thing that like separates you from your artist, where you don't really feel like you're on the same page, or your artist doesn't feel like they're getting all the information that they could or want to. And we know from experience, we know from our user data that our artist users, our pay users, they're not really digging in here so much and doing analytics and doing deep dives and trying to figure out like, okay, which platforms should we focus on, or which ones need more help or whatever. They're not really doing it to the extent that that you might think, or maybe you totally agree with that or could have predicted that. But that's not the point, because the point is that they just want to know that they can. They want to know that they have the access, that there's the ability to check on stuff or look into stuff, or God forbid, look at it together, work together to figure out how to grow better together. So again, these reports, these analytics, not just for you, they're also for the artists and the payees and their managers and whoever else you give access to, which we'll get into towards the end. But for now, I'm actually going to jump to the thrilling account settings screen, because this is where you actually start when you create a new Infinite Catalog account. Um, you set this up on the way in, and I like to kick off the main part of the tour here, because it gets to the heart of what this platform does, which is really at bottom just make it easy to unite data from a lot of different places. And as you can see, this catalog is actually set up with a few data sources from the jump. Um, this is actually, I use my own, I edit the data, but this is all data from my own catalog that's been edited, and it's just the last few months anyway. But these are my distributors. I like to keep it simple, or my data sources, I should say. Uh, but you'll notice here in our popular data sources that we have a mix of master side, like Red Eye as a distributor, or the Orchard, or you can go direct if you have a direct deal with a DSP like Apple Music. Um, we can get that master side income here in here, but then also direct to fan stuff like Bandcamp or even Shopify, uh, rights platforms like Sound Exchange, publishing like Songtrust or BMI or ASCAP. Um, the system is very intentionally built to give you the ability to unite all of this data into one place so that you can properly, split it up and pay the right people the right amounts. And again, we really don't care whether it's master side or publishing or merch or rights or whatever. And it doesn't even have to be music. It can literally be whatever you need. And one of the benefits of uh, doing this as a platform, and using a platform for this purpose, is that we are extremely versed in the data of all of these platforms and hundreds more besides. We already have mapped and built importers to allow our customers to bring in data from basically anywhere. And if we don't have a data source that you would like to bring into Infinite Catalog, just fill out the form on the other side of this link, and we will create an importer so you can drag and drop that data straight into Infinite Catalog. We never want you to have to edit the data or modify the data or even open the file and save it again because that can mess with it sometimes. We want the raw data. We want to make it as easy as possible. You should never have to, um, yeah, mess with the data to get it into the software. Uh, that is a big part of the complexity of the music industry is just all these different data formats from all these different places. And so we want to be the place that makes it easy to unite them all into one platform, into one database, which is effectively what this system is. And the way that most of this data gets into Infinite Catalog is indeed through drag and drop. You drag the files in here and they will upload. We would love to have more direct connections. Or before I talk about that, I'll just say that uh, while most of our data are most of the data gets in through drag and drop via the importers that we build. Uh, we do have a few direct connections as of last year, and we would love to add more. And direct connections are definitely the way of the future, and it's not unlike connecting an accounting software to a bank, so that the data can just flow directly into Infinite Catalog. And we've got a few of them already. Our Bandcamp one is very popular. Of course, almost everybody has Bandcamp, and that's an API data connection. And you can set that up and have the data flow in directly. Our Secretly one, shout out to our friends at Secretly. This is actually an email ingestion tool that you just have them CC this email address and the files that they email their distributed labels every month will automatically flow in here. And then finally, we have a brand new Merlin connection, which is an FTP connection where you just add, give your credentials, hook it up, and this will, um, yeah, again, just have the data flow directly into Infinite Catalog. Definitely the way of the future. I saw there are a few data sources in this webinar, or at least that registered for this webinar. If you are any of these data sources and you're interested in making your platform, making your distributor or whatever kind of rights platform or income platform it is, if you're interested in making it a stickier platform and making your customers happier and working together with us to just help them get their royalties done, please holler at me. We would love to build more direct connections. That's a big focus of ours. We've got a few more in the pipeline already, but we're very happy to build direct connections for any and all data sources that are ready, willing, and able. So if that's you, please do give us a shout because we'd love to make it easier for our shared customers, our mutual customers. Okay, a few more exciting account settings things, just because it's a helpful place to review what this software can do. Um, Quickly about currency. Every catalog has a native currency, which is typically the one that you do your books in. But one of the challenges of modern royalty accounting is that you often get paid in other currencies, or more accurately, you get data that is formatted in other currencies, sometimes even within the same data file, which it causes all kinds of challenges for royalty accounting and making sure that people are getting the right amounts. And we have some very cool tools to make that as easy as possible for you to convert that currency into your native currency. Basically, we have a default way of doing it automatically, and then you're able to adjust that if you need it, if your bank uses a different currency conversion rate than the one we're using. You can back that in. It's very easy. We're not going to get that deep into it on this call. But yeah, we really have encountered just about every royalty accounting challenge that there is, and in most cases we've got a great tool to help you make it easier. Speaking of which, some additional tools down here: mechanicals, reserves, PPD style royalty accounting. These are all types of royalty accounting or extra steps in royalty accounting that some catalogs do have. Mechanicals most catalogs have or should be doing, and so we build tools to make that as easy as possible. And yeah, if there's something we don't have, if there's some process that you need done and we feel like it's something that will help a lot of other people, we will build new features. We build new features all the time. We are a software company that comes from the music industry, but we are very much a software company that loves to ship new features. And down here you can see some of those, like that Merlin direct connection, which is still in beta staff only, and subcontracts, which we'll talk about a little bit on this demo. Point being, we're always shipping new features. If there's something that we can build that will make it easier for you, it'll probably make it easier for somebody else too. And we want to hear about those features. We love to, we love to improve the software and make it better, make it deeper as much as possible. Um, okay, so let's say we've added some income, we've added some data to the software. What happens? How does the catalog, get built? There are a few ways that it gets built, or a few different options, I should say. Almost everything in Infinite Catalog has both a like you can do this in bulk or you can do this one at a time options, because it can really vary which one you need. And so very often you have the ability to do both. Um, and one of the things we're always trying to make easier is we just want to make this as easy as possible to keep up to date. Um, we don't want to make it so that this is yet another place where you have to like add metadata, even though metadata is a very important part of royalty accounting, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, the challenge of keeping this catalog up to date should not be something that's holding you back, or is a challenge, especially if you're an active catalog, which we very much are a solution for active catalogs in particular. And part of the reason for that is that we make it, yeah, as easy as possible to keep this up to date. And the way that we do that is by leveraging our API connection with Spotify. And what happens is you can absolutely come in here and import your entire catalog in bulk, a giant spreadsheet that's got all your artists and releases and tracks and UPCs and ISRCs and ISWCs. If you've got that, and if you're a big catalog or you've got a lot of physical only releases, that might be a good option for you. But most of the time, we just tell people to just import a data file from your primary digital distributor first, because what the system will do is when you come in here and this is empty, and you import that data file, the system will automatically check the metadata in that file for metadata that's already in the software, that's already in Infinite Catalog. And if there is nothing in the software that matches, it will check the Spotify public API to see if it finds a match in there. And because almost everything is on Spotify, it typically does. And it will automatically create, whatever record you're adding, or whatever record track or artist that it finds in that data, it will automatically create it in the system. And we've built a little backdoor in here just to show you how it works. You can obviously add a release or an artist one by one manually. You can add all the tracks manually, but yeah, that takes a long time. And so instead, we leverage this Spotify API connection. And while Henrik was talking, he mentioned being a big metal fan. So I quickly went and grabbed a Sabbath record from Spotify to bring into the system, just for purely demonstration purposes, obviously. And yeah, but so that is how quickly a record and artist and tracks get brought into the system, get created in the system. And again, you don't have to do this one by one with like the Spotify link. This happens automatically when you add new data to the system. If it's unsure, it will ask you to confirm before it creates it, so it doesn't create something that shouldn't be in there. But the great thing about that is you get artwork, you get metadata, you get stuff like track length and yeah, duration, which is important for mechanicals, for example. You get release dates and yeah, like I was saying, this release, this artist, these tracks, they're already in the system now. There's obviously no data associated with them yet, but it's now in the catalog, just waiting for data and waiting for a contract as well, which is the next bit. Um, as you may have noticed, uh, when this release got created in the system, it threw this missing contracts badge, um, which will helps you identify, oh, this needs a contract. And so let's quickly walk through how contracts work in the system. Um, Royalty accounting and contracts are obviously very interrelated. And while there really aren't any situations in royalty accounting that we cannot handle in this system, we really try to keep it simple. We're big believers in net profit share. Like I said earlier, we can handle PPD, royalty base, like rate based style royalty accounting as well. But profit share is really where we shine the brightest and what we feel like is the future of the music industry, because of course streaming is you pretty much have to do it on a profit share basis. You can't do like a per stream rate in a contract really. I mean, you can try, and I'd love to talk to anybody who wants to bat that around, but mainly profit share is how we handle stuff. So let's just quickly create a new contract here with our new payee, and for simplicity we'll just keep it to Sabbath. um, we also have this cool feature called payee tags, which you can tag payees with whatever you want. You can tag it by genre if you want it for some reason, but more likely it's to keep things straight or just help you identify which payees you want to pay for whatever different reasons. Like if they're a publishing client or a songwriter, that might be a different royalty accounting flow. Or most likely, I think the most common use of payee tags is if you pay people on different cadences. You pay some people monthly, some people quarterly, other people every 6 months. um, Payee tags gives you a very easy way to identify those people and pay them accordingly, and the system is Infinite Catalog is very good at making that possible, unlocking that possibility for you, so that if you do have, you've always been a 6 months, every 6 months style record label, for example, and you want to increase that cadence to quarterly, but just for the new artist that is demanding it, or even monthly. I think being more regular with payments is something that record labels and publishers should consider when you're trying to compete with self-releasing and self-publishing via platforms or self-distributing. Those things typically pay out monthly, and so can you. If you use a royalty accounting software like Infinite Catalog, you can pay out monthly and not have it be a giant hangup or headache or something that you're, constantly doing. And in fact, I would argue that if you increase the rate, the cadence by which you pay royalty accounting, you will get better at it and more easily get it done every time, and it'll become like clockwork, especially with our help. Um, and yeah, actually, might as well. This is probably as good a time as any to call out our absolutely amazing support, which is something that we really pride ourselves on. It's something that we regularly get incredible uh, reviews about our support. I mean, yeah, the software is great. People love the software, but the support really is something that we're just very proud of. And our support team are real humans. Basically, every single person at Infinite Catalog either has a record label or is in a band or manages bands or used to manage bands. So we're all uh, of the world, from the world, and are here to help. And we typically respond, I would say, faster than in a few hours, especially lately. If you don't want to wait around, we've got an amazing roster of help docs. And now our help software, our support software now has this AI answers where you can literally just ask, how do I import a data file? and it will hopefully give you a good answer from by yeah, great. Combing through the docs and giving you a summarized answer, which looks pretty good so far. If the reviews have been good, if anyone's got, getting bad answers, please let us know. Let Help Scout know, our support software. But anyway, yeah, quick shout out about our support. It's a really big part of what you get with this software. I cannot stress this enough. It's not just about helping you get the royalties done. It very much is about that, but it's also really helpful when it comes to your artists, because the support beacon, this is not just here for you. It's also here for your artists. If they have questions about how to use the software, or like how to do the analytics, how to do reporting, how to, what does this mean? How do I find an answer to this question? We're here to help and answer that for them if it's something we can answer, if it's something to do with the software. So it won't just be you, uh, sort of on your own, and they have to take your word for it. There's a third party, dare I say, a trusted third party in the mix that they can query and not feel like they're bothering you, and they're gonna like, uh, you know, run afoul of you and not get as much attention from you because they asked a question about their analytics, or how their statements work, or what they should take away from their statements. So I really can't stress enough how helpful that is to you, and it's why we invest so much time and energy and salary into it as a company. So shout out the support team. And yeah, if you start a free trial, start a new account, we're very happy to help with the onboarding. We will occasionally get on Zoom calls if necessary, and do whatever it takes to get you onboarded, because we know can be complicated. We know it can be challenging to like move from one system to another. And we're really, really here to help you do that as much as possible. Okay, enough about support. Back to our contracts. Um, which we're still staring at the same screen. Thanks for everyone with your patience. But this is a contract: name, payee, split 50%, let's say, and then an optional ledger, which we'll come back to. And then I do quickly want, no, I'll save the subcontracts for a second. In fact, let's just hit save. And there it is. There's our new contract. And this contract is now applying to this release, and it's also applying to everything within the release. So the tracks are inheriting the same split. So if it's just a 50-50 split, for example, as we just set up, then every track is also going to get split 50-50 accordingly. Um, and yeah, again, trying to make it as simple as possible. If you do have simple profit share, that's literally it. That's all it is. And if you want to set up, if your entire catalog is that, or you've got just a few, weird ones, set up the few weird ones, and then we've got a cool, I won't show it to you, but a default contracts tool that lets you just create, you know, everything that's left over as a 50-50 deal, or a 60-40 deal, or whatever you do, in one shot in bulk, as I mentioned. But let's quickly talk about other kinds of contracts, like track contracts, which are actually the exact same. This is a compilation from our friends at Kill Rock Stars, and this was the first compilation I thought of. Compilation's not as big a thing these days, but it helps illustrate how this works, which is you can apply these contracts, these very simple contracts. This is, or I'll show you that one in a second. The simple contracts like we just set up for Black Sabbath, you can apply those not just to the release, but also to an individual track, or any individual bucket of transactions, or even an individual transaction, or any group of transactions can get split in any way that you want or need. Um, and it's that flexibility that allows us to say credibly that like there really isn't a royalty situation that we can't reproduce, that we can't handle in Infinite Catalog, because of how flexible our system is. And when you're creating, yeah, so when you need to create track contracts, it's the same process. These contracts are exactly the same as, that uh, that release one we set up for Black Sabbath, where it's just the payee and the split and an optional ledger, with the important difference that this is being applied at the track level. And that way you can do, this is 50-50 to Bratmobile, but this one needs to go 50-50 to Some Velvet Sidewalk, and this one goes to Cordy Love 50-50. These are fake deals if it isn't extremely obvious. I have no idea what the actual splits are on this record. But yeah, the point is that you can set up splits as granularly as you need to. And then we have additional tools to make it easy to do stuff like setting up a compilation contract where it will literally just look at all the track level splits and prorate them accordingly so that if you do have a physical version of a compilation, or again, forget compilations, which are kind of outdated, but like if there's just track level splits and there's a vinyl, and you need to pay some payee a small share, or whatever share of the vinyl, or a full album download, for example. uh, our compilation contract tool makes it very easy to prorate the full album contract so that it will appropriately split up the full album sales or the vinyl sales appropriately, as well as the expenses, which is how it works for a net profit deal. Really quickly, bundles. We also have this cool bundles tool where, let's say we're doing a bundle with that Black Sabbath record and this, a Mr. Twin Sister record. And the bundle is selling for $30, but really it needs to be like $10 to this one and $20 to this one. This will create that contract so that when the bundle shows up, it splits it up this way. Bundles are really challenging and frustrating as a royalty accountant, or they were. It's a thing of the past. If you're not using Infinite Catalog, they definitely can be. If you're doing it in the spreadsheets, they definitely can be. And this is one of the ways that having a system like this, having a platform that's thought about all this and built tools to make it easier, again, it really unlocks what you can do as a catalog, as a record label or a publisher. Um, Whether that's as simple as doing some bundles to try to boost sales, or as 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 intense as starting a publishing company. I'm a big believer that every record label should be doing pub admin. Uh, as a record label, you're doing about 90% of the work that is required of doing a pub admin deal on top, and you can just make it optional to your artists. And it's not a land grab. It's not something you're locking them up to. It's just, hey, there's an additional administrative job that needs to happen here, and we're happy to do that for you for a relatively low rate, and you can leave whenever you want. I'm a big fan of those kind of deals. A big reason why a lot of people don't do them, in my opinion, is because they don't know how to do the royalties and they don't know how to set that up. So I actually do have someone set up in just that way. Here's a publishing a songwriter, I should say, in the catalog. And the way that this is set up is we just have all of the songwriter, all of their songs in one release. And we have a pub admin deal set up here where with different splits according to the different formats, which is very often how pub deals work. You don't have to do it this way. You could just do an 80% deal across the board or whatever percent across the board. But if you are a publisher and you have deals that are broken out by format, as many pub deals are, our subcontracts make it a lot easier for you to do this. So um, setting up different rates for example, performance versus mechanical versus print versus sync. You can set all this up from the jump and make it so that all the royalties that come in that are associated with those formats get split up in those particular ways. And again, you can do this in Infinite Catalog right alongside the master side stuff, which let's actually jump ahead. Wow, we're already at 40 minutes. There's so much more we can talk about, but let's jump into a period. Let's say we've added all our data, we've added all our contracts, we're ready to pay people, we're ready to do statements. And the way we do that is by creating a period. And a period can actually, like I alluded to earlier, be any date range. It doesn't need to be, you don't have to pick a cadence and stick to it. The way we've built Infinite Catalog, all balances are always live. So you can actually have different periods for like every month and also every quarter and also every 6 months, and you will never accidentally double pay people or overpay people or anything like that. Oh boy, I must have changed something, and now the system is recalculating, which is very funny. But but anyway, this gives me a good chance to talk about the period wizard, which is a tool that we have that helps you go through each step of the process and just make sure that you've got everything in that you need to. It makes sure you've added all your data imports. If you've missed something, you can add one straight from here. We've got a little checklist here for all the data sources that you've selected to make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. Additionals, which is our fancy word for um, uh, adding, expenses, adding, syncs or any income or that doesn't come through a data file, adding advances, that kind of stuff. And taking you through the process of doing your mechanicals. If you've got PPD, if you've got reserves, I've enabled all this for this demo. But if you don't have those things, they won't appear here. And yeah, it takes you all the way to payouts and statements, which I might just jump back to the dashboard and into the statement. I'm not sure why it's taking so long to calculate. That's very funny. But this is a statement in Infinite Catalog, and I don't have a ton of time to go as deep as I would like to into how all this works. But basically, you can see here we've got two different ledgers set up for this payee, both master side and publishing. And the way that our ledgers work, hold on, I've been fighting a sneeze for like minutes now. Oh my God. Okay, I think it's gone. Thank you for bearing with me on my sneeze. Um, right. Ledgers, you set them up in the contracts. They allow you to keep balances uncrossed within the same statement, within the same payee. The way that it typically works is it used to work is that you'd have a separate statement for the publishing and a separate statement for the masters, maybe even uh, you have to use two different softwares to do each, which is typically how it works. But we want to be an all-in-one solution. So allowing people to have publishing on one ledger and masters on another ledger and keep them separated so that if, one ledger is unrecouped, it's not affecting the total payable balance. Um, those are statements. And the final screen I want to take folks to is this is the payee dashboard. And this is where we like to end the tour because this is where payees land when they log in. And again, I can't stress enough that we really try to build this platform for both, the catalog to make it as easy as possible to help them unlock growth opportunities, whether it's adding new data sources without worrying about accounting headaches, or starting a publishing unit, or doing more bundles, or doing more specific rates, doing more custom deals, I should say. If an artist wants, the only way the deal is going to happen is if you're able to give them a different split on the digital versus the physical, which I think is an increasingly common and appropriate thing. Um, you want a system that can make that possible, and Infinite Catalog is that system, and it makes it so that it can uh, you can keep all that straight, and the artist can feel like they know what's going on and have the ability to come in here and see all their different splits for the different rates in one place, see all the payouts, do those kind of analytics that we talked about, and yeah, just really understand what's going on with them. I do want to quickly mention about published transactions versus unpublished. The way the system works is that as you add data, all the data that you add is unpublished by default, and it is only by generating the statements that signals to the system, like, please do um, publish all the underlying data to the payees so that they can come in here and click through and see, like, okay, they want to investigate more. What's going on with this balance? What's going on with this income? Where did this income come from? They can just click that view button, and the transactions will quickly load, and they can easily do that same kind of analytics to try to figure out, where's this stuff coming from, and how can we make more of it? How can we grow together? Which again is yeah, the whole goal. Okay, that was actually, I guess it was a little shorter than 45 minutes because there was some intro from Henrik there. But um, but yeah, that is a whirlwind tour of Infinite Catalog. Thank you for your attention and your patience, and I hope that didn't uh, bore the hell out of you. It's very exciting to me, and we're very proud and happy to do this work. We have hundreds and hundreds of catalogs that use our software. Tens of thousands of payees get paid through the software. Um, or I should say, paid because of the accounting that happens in the software. We don't process the payments. It's on our roadmap. It's something we're definitely going to do at some point. Um, but for now, yeah, it's about reporting. It's about tracking and splitting, and yeah, just being transparent and unlocking those growth opportunities for you as a catalog. Okay, um, I'm gonna try to stop talking now. Henrik, if you're out there, jump in.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you so much,
oh
Hunter,
my
for
God, thank God.
taking time. Oh, am I hearing myself too? Nope, we're
Yeah,
good.
no,
Okay. Thank you, Hunter, for spending this afternoon with us and walking through Infinite Catalog in such detail. We really appreciate it. Um, Want to welcome everybody. Go ahead and drop in any questions you've got for Hunter about the Infinite Catalog platform in the Q&A box now. You'll click that Q&A button on your Zoom dashboard and drop them in there. We've got a couple of questions to queue us up at the start here. One comes in through the chat. This is from Felix. Asks, I release songs on Vydia, and I know that they handle royalties as well. So how would this work in conjunction with a catalog, something like Infinite Catalog, wanting to understand the workflow between those?
sure. That's a great question. One thing that gets a lot of people into trouble is using a splits tool that is just for one data source. Like DistroKid is another platform that um, offers the ability to like, oh, just use DistroKid and split your royalties with your, bandmates straight from here. You don't need a separate software. You don't need to use anything else. You can just do it all in DistroKid. But in our experience, that's literally never the case. I mean, if you're a no, and please no offense whatsoever, but if you're a hobbyist and you're just like, I just want to get my music up there and split it up with my artists, and I'm not really trying to grow or I'm not like focused on this as like my career or anything, then maybe you just stick to DistroKid or Vydia and use their splits tools. But to my knowledge, they don't have the ability to pull in your sound exchange, for example, your neighboring rights data, Shopify, Bandcamp, all these other platforms that you should be leveraging, or Songtrust. I mean, you must have publishing revenue that you want to keep track of. And if you're splitting at source, if you're like splitting at each of these, like let's say these all had splits tools, which they don't, but let's say they did, um, you're making it very difficult to see the whole picture. And really, this is what's so powerful about this platform is that the music industry is a big, wild, crazy place with new income opportunities all the time. And you don't want to hook up your entire accounting system to just one platform because, or rather to one data source, I should say, because you don't want to miss out on other opportunities. And I don't know about, I haven't seen Vydia's tool in a minute, but um, I don't think I've ever seen a data source split tool that lets you bring in expenses and do splits for other income that's not from that data source. So, yeah, if you're, trying to grow, if you're trying to unlock new opportunities or just be able to see everything in one place, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, we got video. Um, then a third-party platform really is basically necessary to be able to do that because yeah, you can't do it at source as we call it. Splits tools so close yet so far is something that we often say. So I hope that answers your question. Please holler at me if not, or if I've completely missed some giant update to Vydia's splits tool that blows us out of the water, in which case, hats off.
Thank you, Hunter. Our next question is a two-parter, comes in from Naomi. Naomi would like to know, does the client pay monthly to use Infinite Catalog, and can clients see their statement data in Infinite Catalog every time a new statement is rendered?
Yes, to answer the second question, yes, they absolutely can. Just to jump back to my example payee here, every time a statement gets generated, when you hit generate, it will appear here, and that again is what publishes the transactions underneath that go into that statement to the payee. So, yep, they absolutely can see them. Um, and yeah, the catalog pays for the software. Our pricing is transparent. It's right here on our website at infinitecatalog.com. Please come here and check it out. We have both the ability for you to pay monthly or pay annually for a discount. Um, I don't know if folks got my email, but we're offering a very special, and the first time I've ever done this, I swear to God, discount for attending or even just registering for this webinar. If you use the code, I think I did musicbiz50, 50, at checkout, you'll get 50% off for 3 months or the entire year. And the way our pricing works is it's based on the revenue that you track in the software. And that is very intentional. We thought a lot about this before we rolled it out. And the reason is we want to give everybody the same access to all the tools. We don't like the idea of windowing tools that might help you grow to people who can afford to pay for them already. So everybody gets exactly the same software that you just saw. There's no windowing of features in Infinite Catalog. It also means you can have unlimited everything in Infinite Catalog. We don't want you to worry about how many transactions you have or how many contracts you have or how many users to invite. Everything is included and it's just based on the revenue. And we feel like that's honestly the most fair way to do it and the simplest way to do it because really, again, what you're doing here is tracking income and splitting it out and paying people. And this is a very, very small fraction of that revenue. We've intentionally made it uh, scalable as well. As your income increases, the price per dollar actually goes down. And if you make more than 240K a year, hit us up and it's a little more, let's make a deal. But it's the same basic principle. The more revenue you have, the less you pay per dollar, even if the bill is higher. And it goes up and down. If your income, if you're on, whether if you're on a monthly or annual deal, the income if your income goes down, so does your bill. If your income is, here 1 month, that's what you pay. But if the next month it's here, then you just pay that. And again, we want to be flexible so that it's always a solution for you. It's always the right solution, whether you're in a growth phase or, you just lost a big record out of your catalog because the license expired and, your income went from here to here. We want to make it so that you don't have to like worry, oh, now I'm like paying so much for my royalty accounting software and I don't have as much money coming in. Um, the whole point again is to grow with you or uh, slow down with you. Hopefully it's a temporary slowdown, but that's literally why we price it based on revenue, which some people don't like, and I totally understand that. But we just feel like it's the most flexible and most fair thing. And yeah, again, just allows you to grow with us or if your catalog's, going through some kind of downsize, the bill goes down as well. And we're totally happy for that. Yeah. Any other questions?
We've got one more question now and a little bit of time in case anybody else wants to drop any in the chat. Um, Maria says, how do you show the publishing data side when there are more than one songwriter and each has a different rate slash payee?
That's a great question. That's a very deep question. We don't actually track song splits in Infinite Catalog yet. The way that it works is the splits get prorated based on the song split within the catalog, which is a complicated thing, I grant. But lots of people do it and quite happily using Infinite Catalog. So you can have I mean, you can do it where you can see the different splits if you were to set this up where it's like on a track by track basis, because that's the way you need to do it because of the way that your catalog is structured or your deals are structured or the way that your songwriters have co-written within your catalog. Um, but we definitely want to make that easier in the long run. So it's something we've been thinking about a lot lately. And yeah, you again, you can still do it in Infinite Catalog if you've got multiple songwriters within your catalog doing co-writes and you need to break out the royalties accordingly. But there is a prorating that needs to happen to do that. Um, which, yeah, great question. That's very deep, and I'm very impressed. But yeah, like I said, lots of publishers do use this software, and quite happily, and there are ways to do pretty much any kind of situation in the software. So I hope that answers the question.
One more question in from Andy. Andy asks, can you deliver publishing registrations to societies from the Infinite Catalog platform?
No, that's an easy one. The answer is no. We don't do delivery. It's something that, yeah, we've thought about, but to us, we're just obsessed with the royalties and making it as easy as possible to track and split royalties. So uh, sad to end on a no, we don't do that, and we don't really have any plans to do that. But we always shoot you straight as well at Infinite Catalog. So I hope that at least answers that question. And works registration, we totally get how that's a big part of a publishing, like it can be a big part of a publisher's workflow if you're, adding a lot of catalog uh, regularly and you want to hook that in with your royalty accounting system. And I know that some of the publishing only royalty softwares, they absolutely do that. But yeah, we focus on being an all-in-one royalty platform, and royalties are all we do. We don't do distribution, we don't do delivery, we don't do registration. We are very happy. I would love to partner with uh, a content works registration platform, um, and do some kind of integration to make that easier. So if you know of any, please tell them to hit me up because we would absolutely love to do that, and make it so that they can focus on that part, we can focus on this part. But yeah, that's the situation as it currently stands. So thanks again.
We got one final question here. If you got time, Hunter.
Sure, let's do it.
Great. Naomi asks, when you sign up for Infinite Catalog, you log directly in to the platform, and can you pull statement data from label portals into Infinite Catalog?
Can you pull? I don't know if I quite understand the question. Yes, you can use this platform to if you're an artist, and this is something that I'm very passionate about. It's not like it's not our main customer base, I would say, but we do have a number of artists that use this platform to where, you know, let's say you're Dre Babinski and you use Infinite Catalog because you have a record deal over here, you have a different record deal here, you have your self-release stuff here, you have your publishing deal one here, publishing deal two, and you want to see all that in one place as an artist, and maybe use that to pay your bandmates from the different records that they're on that are across different deals, or self-publish and be your own publisher, or literally just pay your manager, have your manager be the one payee in your entire catalog that makes 10% or 15% or 20%, whatever managers make these days. So in that sense, yes. And if the label reports to you in any kind of data format, not a PDF, but like a spreadsheet, a CSV, usually some kind of file with all the data in it, then we will build an importer so that you can just drag and drop that in here. So I hope that answers your question. And yeah, like we have like Infinite Catalog. I don't know why there's two of them. Infinite Catalog is our own data source because we absolutely have people who use this platform who are either being distributed by a bigger catalog, or maybe they're an artist that's on one of the labels that uses Infinite Catalog, and the data can flow from Infinite Catalog from one Infinite Catalog account to the other. It's still a drag and drop, funny enough, but yeah, you can use this to bring in royalty information from wherever. So whether it's a label statement or a data source like one of these. And we do have you know, Universal and like other record labels that people have asked us to build importers for help get that data in. And yeah, hope that answers that question.
All right, that is our last question. I want to say thank you again, Hunter, for being with us today. Thanks to Infinite Catalog for showing everything off. Really appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for the kickoff of our fall 2025 webinar series. We hope you will see you at more webinars this fall. Our next one is a week from today, September 18th. It'll be hosted by Music Biz member Yellow. If you're interested in learning how to break your music in Latin America, we hope you'll join us for that. But again, thank you so much, Hunter. Really glad to have you here today. And thanks, folks, for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your day and check this recording once it goes live on musicbiz.org.
Thanks, Henrik. Thanks everyone for coming out. And yeah, Music Biz 50 is the code. It's in an email if you registered. And thanks again. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you. Take care.